It's the semi-final of my contest to find Britain's most entertaining amateur a cappella group. Great! Last week, intense mentoring culminated in a breakthrough performance from the Sons of Pitches.
I'm Kathy, I've come home, I'm so cold, let me in your window.
I'm moved. Heinz's got tears in his eyes. While a cassock calamity cost Gospel Essence their place in the contest.
But life still goes on.
Obviously, we're disappointed that we couldn't go any further, but, you know, I think we went out on a great song.
Just 4 groups now remain, and this week I'm giving them free rein like never before.
Twinkle little star.
Me be treated like a punk. You know that's unheard of.
I don't know what to say.
The challenge? Combine vocals, choreography, and a killer concept. To take a cappella from the stage to the screen.
2, 1, go.
I want to see something really new, something that really pops out of the screen.
For a showdown that will divide my jury.
Thrilling, thrilling, thrilling. I hated this.
Absolutely hated it.
I don't know what you were looking for.
I can tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's going to hold my attention.
And decide who makes it to the grand final.
We are that far from the final. You are one performance away from the final.
We're at the 12th hour now, really. We've lost the 11th hour. There's no more hours left.
We've got great talent now left in the contest. I think all of these are going to be good.
With the intense training of a cappella school behind them, my 4 remaining groups are back home. While it's a welcome return to normal life, the contest still remains a priority.
We are absolutely delighted, buzzing, you know, we just really want to take it all the way now, and the competition's tough, it's really tough, so we have to pull out all the stops now.
It's now a make-or-break point in the contest, as all the groups compete for a place in my grand final.
This means more to us than anything now. It means so much to us to do well and to get to that final.
And to make it, this week, they'll have to succeed in a very different challenge. This week, I want them to showcase their talents not on stage, but via video. One that has the potential to become an internet hit.
There are so many big a cappella acts who've only really got a career because of the internet.
Groups like Out of the Blue, whose tongue-in-cheek take on Shakira's Hips Don't Lie has been viewed over 6 million times.
So be wise and keep on reading the signs in my body.
That is how a cappella has become as big as it is. It's not through mainstream media, it is through the internet.
This visually striking offering from Israeli group Voca People has clocked up over 2 million hits.
Say what?
I want my groups to come up with equally eye-catching concepts for a 2-minute video that people would share online.
It's got to be simple. It's got to be memorable, visually arresting and really interesting on the ear.
Crucial to the success of these videos will be the choice of song.
What they don't know at this point is that they're going to be choosing the track for the first time in this contest, and that as much as they'll be excited about the freedom, it's actually a really difficult and important choice to make, because if you get the song wrong, you don't really have anything.
Hello! Hello! Hey! Semi-finalist!
So I expect you're itching to find out what song I've chosen for you.
Yeah. Yes, please.
The song? Look at your little face. I've decided that you are going to be singing a song that you've chosen.
Yeah.
Yes!
have graduated from a cappella school. It's time for you to make grown-up choices for yourself. You can now choose your own song. Don't get too excited, because it's very much part of the challenge. If you choose the wrong song, it could really mess you up. You can't do a song that you've done before, so there's no dipping into the back catalogue.
I just think if we choose, like, a bad song for ourselves or something, we can't blame you.
Has there been a bit of that?
It's literally on our heads. We can't be like, oh, you chose a terrible song for us. We can't help it.
The groups now have just 1 week to choose their songs, arrange them, and devise and shoot an arresting 2-minute video before they're screened to the jury.
We've got a completely blank page in terms of our creativity, so it's so exciting for us.
It also means there's going to be a lot more pressure on us to deliver because we're not spoon-fed in any way. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting week.
It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work. We're not only working on arrangement now, we're working on a visual. So it's almost like double the work.
In Birmingham, keen to commit every spare second they have to rehearsals, all-male six-piece, the Sons of Pitches, are moving in together.
Hey. What we've learned from a cappella school is that, like, the more time we sort of spend together, the more productive we'll be.
Curled up on a single bed, just me and him, keeping each other warm.
Some spooning's going to happen, isn't it, James?
Potentially going to happen. Potentially going to happen.
Looking forward to it.
As this group juggles commitments away from music, spare time's in short supply right now, especially for pharmacy student Mide.
Pharmacy is the career path that I have, and I'm really enjoying it right now. But for the past 3 years, beatboxing has been, like, really, like, life-changing for me. To be able to make money and do things really publicly with beatboxing would be absolutely incredible. But my mum would kill me. I'll make sure I'm a pharmacist, and then come 2 years' time, once that's in place and that's locked in, then I think beatboxing could potentially take over.
Thank you. Hello. It's very civilised. How are you? Thanks for standing up.
I'm checking in on the Sons of Pitches' initial ideas.
Hello. Oh, just hello.
On hand for moral support, girlfriends, Cassia and Caris.
OK, well, what have you come up with?
A good gimmicky thing would be just choose a really simple song and do it in some different genres.
OK.
Changing the genres every 20, 30 seconds.
Lots of different
There's
styles.
lots of things going on. We talked about how people on the internet have quite a short attention span, and if there's lots of things going on and they are going to be anticipating what the next genre is.
Yeah,
and
keeps them engaged.
Exactly.
Genres. OK, well, that's good. So different styles of music. What have you got? You've got...
As far as genres go, we're pretty comfortable with quite a lot of genres.
Can I put that to the test?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay. Oh, great. Why don't we try and find a song, a simple song?
OK.
Take a little star.
Oh, OK, all right, yeah. OK, I've got to have opera, please. Can I have
Opera?
opera?
Oh, my Lord.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Reggae.
How I wonder what you are, up above the world so high.
Jazz.
Oh, like a diamond in the night. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Can we have death metal, please? Hey! Are you all right? Are you ever going to be able to sing again? So you need a song, don't you? Do you have any immediate thoughts?
Mbop by Hanson.
Oh, great. Bop, bop, bop,
Yeah, there's no words.
Because we're expecting it to be quite a silly video in a way.
Yeah.
And it's with the genre change. We really want a kind of a happy, uplifting song that's got a good pace to it.
I like Mbop, that's fun. It made you all smile. All those in favour of that one go, yeah. I will see you in a week.
Get to it. Thank you very much. See you later. And the basic idea made them all happy, it made their girlfriends happy, and it made me happy, so that's a good start. A typical summer evening in East London. And I've joined the Stratfordy singers on the hunt for a location for their video. Is it always like this?
Always, every night, more or less,
Over the course of the contest, this group's developed a sense of self-confidence that reached a peak in their last performance. This self-belief has brought about new opportunities for many in the group, including 19-year-old Abby, who took the lead in the last round.
Don't get mad and mad. Then you should, thought you loved me.
She's just won a place at the prestigious Guildhall School of Music and Drama.
Wow, I didn't think I'd be able to get in because I didn't have any qualifications that I could put on paper and certificates that could prove that I had done so and so. I only had my passion and my experience, and I guess those two helped me a lot to get in. Styling, wilding, living it up. Come on. Music is an absolutely massive... It is my life, basically. It's not even a part of. It is my life. It is who I am. Thank you. It would mean the world, I think, for us to win, especially coming from where we come from, being a community choir. We love to sing. We love to sing and perform for other people and make other people happy the way music makes us happy.
It's like being somewhere on holiday. So it's definitely going to be Stratford, you're going to do. Yeah. Why?
You are Stratfordy singers, it has to be Stratford.
It sounds like you're going for something sort of community-based. It doesn't...
Yeah, I think that's the really message, and to sound like I'm in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really cool. It's really community, good energy around here. Crucial question, have you got a song or a short list at least?
I've got one song.
One song? What's the song?
Emily Sunday Wonder.
How does it go? I like it.
Yeah?
We are full of wonder. Stratford, dancers. I love it. Bashment, whatever that is. Brilliant. Oh, I like it. I think that's really good. They've now got to marry all this excitement and colour and life that they've got in Stratford with technical precision, because now it's getting really difficult. The other groups are very, very technical, and they're going to have to really up their game. In Glasgow, the wind of change is blowing through university group choral stimulation.
It's the end of term, sort of everyone's finished exam, everyone's sort of kicking about, moving flats, a bit homeless, a bit out of kilter.
It's so hard to pin us down.
Future plans and fledgling careers are in the offing for many in the group, including junior doctor Callum.
I'm Dr. Fraser. How are things? How are you feeling?
Not bad. I'm not getting home today, but yeah, happy.
It's a priceless moment when you see a mother holding their child for the first time. It's quite a nice thing to see and quite a rare thing to see. So it's one of the best parts of the job, I think. Balancing work with choral stimulation has been a real challenge. It's no doubt what I wanted to do, and you make sacrifices, you make time. It's like anything. Everyone's been really good about it. It's been a balancing act, but it's been absolutely worth it.
All these demands on the group's time is causing a headache for the group's musical director, Tony.
Did you run from London?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, in terms of getting everyone organised for the whole thing, making sure everyone's in Glasgow.
My maths are rudimentary, but are we missing a few people?
Yeah, quite a few.
Who's missing?
Callum's back in hospital working, saving lives.
Who's got work commitments now? Are you all? Can you all really focus on this?
I'm away most of this week.
You're away?
Well, I came back...
This week?
Yeah.
Now? From when?
Well, I came back from Belfast last night to be here today.
Right.
I'm going back to Belfast tomorrow.
What's happening in Belfast?
I'm in the studio.
You recording your solo album?
No, the band back home.
You've got the band back together. OK. Out of the 8 days that that you've got to do this challenge, how many are you away?
6.
6.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's not ideal to do things in 3 days. Genuinely, are you worried about Tony not being here? Are you going to be able to...
I personally am.
This is really not good. Tony is the secret to choral stimulation success thus far in this contest, because his arrangements, sometimes his solo voice, and certainly his musicianship is what makes it work. It's a massive deal to lose your music director at this stage of a contest. Did you not realise that this would be a week where it was going to be fairly pivotal?
I don't think anyone realised it was going to be so full on this week.
The band at home, are they guys you've known for a long time?
Yeah, no, since before I came to uni.
So you don't want to let them down?
Yeah.
But you've also got a kind of family here.
It's just the fear, like, it's the fear of letting people down more than anything. Then, you know, that's the thing with choral stimulation. If you mess it up, you let 9 people down.
Yeah,
you know?
And they're your friends?
Yeah.
With Tony's departure looming, the group must choose a song as quickly as possible.
Can we move these chairs over there? What do you want to do? I mean, look, what goes well on the internet?
I really want to do Reach for the Stars, but, like, so sad.
We're not doing S Club 7.
Why not?
In a minor key, though.
No, we're not doing S Club 7.
Jess Glynn? I haven't heard that song in ages.
Pardon?
Get her other.
Jess Glynn?
She's the one.
70 million hits on Spotify.
70 million. I find this on YouTube like 10,000 views.
I mean, that makes me happy, that song. It'll kind of arrange itself, this one. Obviously, you'll want to put some choral stimulation touches in it, but I don't think you need to throw the book at this. OK, well, good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Don't forget that you are one performance away from the finals. It's a semi-final, so give it your all. I think this is a good song choice. I think it's a really... it's contemporary, it's an energetic song, it's well-written, and they liked it. There was a bubbliness about them, and I think it's going to be really fresh.
We're on to a winner.
Yeah, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Southampton students Restless Symphony have been quick off the mark choosing their song and are already in rehearsals.
3, 4.
Led by musical director Esther.
I'm the mummy of the group. I look after them. I kind of do the sort of the backbone of arrangements, and I'll sort of draw the line on the yes or the no. I am the yes or noer.
As pop performance students, they've made a surprising and brave decision in Grieg's orchestral piece in the Hall of the Mountain King.
We just really wanted to try and do something that pushed us out of our comfort zone. We have a policy of trying everything. We really want to try and put in some beatboxing and some fresh sounds and just make it sound really original.
Thank you. That's fine. Wow, hello. That's quite eerie. I think there's good news and bad news for me. I think the good news is that the arrangement feels really interesting all the way through. There's loads of variety. The only thing that's missing for me, and it's a major thing, is dynamics. There are no dynamics. There's literally loud or not singing. You know, I saw Esther go quiet, and you went that much quieter. And what you're trying to do is something really quiet and spooky and creative, and it's not. It's just like, nah, the whole time. Do-do, do-do-do, ba-ba. Not do-do, do-do-do, na-na, do. Yeah, and it's really shocking to see you go back into that, yeah, I can just do my... No, you mustn't. You know, it's all about control. Get the harmonics to match so that you're all in the same place. You're going to go E... 2, 3, and. Can you hear how... I just look at each other's mouths while you're doing it. You're all going at different times. Literally, I only want to hear all of you. I don't want to go, oh, why isn't it... Oh, it's Anita's solo. Not in a moment like this. Be really attentive to it. It's the semi-finals. This was a great, brave decision to do Grieg, but I don't know if they've got. I don't know if they're up to it.
Anyone can go like do 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 do. It's how we turn that into something that's actually really impressive, because it could sound just like we're kind of singing along to the piece.
They're not thinking about the overall sound. They're all only thinking about what part they do. It's only marginal, and it's obvious to my ear, and it will be obvious to the jury's ear.
Songs chosen. My semi-finalists now have just 4 days to perfect their arrangements, master choreography, and bring their concepts to life on camera before their videos are screened in front of the jury. Chairing this week, Joel Fishel, a member of Oxford group Out of the Blue, whose Shakira tribute went viral.
It's really important that you find a nice balance between great vocal performance and great music, but also something a little bit cheeky, a little bit funny.
Also among these a cappella experts, renowned performance coach Andrew Panton.
I think one of the most important things that I'm looking for is originality. There's no point in a group that's just carbon copy of something they've seen before. And again, that comes down to the personalities of the group and that strength of communication. Do they really know who they are and what they want to say to the world?
Flip the top, fondue, flip the top, fondue, yeah, yeah. Flip the top, fondue,
With their vocals shaping up nicely, the Sons of Pitches are homing in on choreography.
Hi, folks.
Hiya! To help, I'm recalling my a cappella school mentors, Voice Festival patron Dominic Peckham, and musical theatre director Catherine Gant.
So why not start in the line we're currently in?
What a line.
As lines go, it's up there with one of my favourites.
She's going to help the group match moves to their changing genres.
So many religions shaping this life, only one or two will last. Hold on, the ones who really...
Okay, great. It's all quite laid back. You need to really use your knees and get down a bit, yeah. It just feels like you should be like, just sat down, chilled out.
Right, yeah, what I mean...
With a cocktail.
With a cocktail. Just about.
Yeah, that'll work. But then I think you guys need to be feeling like you're just kind of on for a stroll. Maybe a hat and a cocktail.
Sorted.
It's really interesting to see them now post a cappella school and seeing that actually they seem to be really invested not only in the vocals but also in their storytelling. And same with choreo and movement and things, you know, they just... I think they're in a much better place than they were a couple of weeks ago, without doubt.
Oh my God!
I think, because just watching that now, I genuinely think this is funnier.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything.
You know, no pressure, but every part of this has to be so slick and so well done so that it's the wow factor of a viral video.
Absolutely. Just don't throw the kitchen sink at it, because it is more clever than that.
Like the Sons of Pitches, all my groups should now be working on choreography. But back in London, Stratford East singers have called me in over doubts about their musical direction. Hello, Stratford. How are you?
Basically, we've got a plan B that we think is now our plan A.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, changing it up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So last time I saw you, there was a sense of joy and jubilation, and you were going to do Emily Sandé's "We Are Full of Wonder."
The first issue that wasn't a worldwide hit, like Shakira
Okay.
or
No, sure, it's not Shakira.
So we thought, okay, there's that. So we thought about what else could we do, and we just thought the only alternative was to go with a song that's really kind of out there. So yeah, we thought we'd change the song.
Okay. What have you got?
Should we sing it or tell
Go
you?
on, sing it, sing it, sing it.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realise there's nothing left. Because I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I had never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're walking and where you're walking, or you and your homies may be lined in chalk.
Living in the paradise, living in the paradise, living in the paradise, living in the gangster's paradise. Oh,
hey. Gangster's paradise.
I mean, I'm sorry, Suzanne. It's not you personally, but it's you as rapper that I'm struggling with. Should we get some fresh air and I just need to think about it. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm really stuck for words. It's just... It's not what I was expecting. I'm just sort of disappointed. I was expecting something really fun and life-affirming. Such a miserable song, Gangster's Paradise. It's all about you. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Oh, well, that's really uplifting. Right. Look at you all. You look like you're in detention. You've been very, very naughty. I feel like this song is not enabling you. I didn't feel it from you. Ooh, can I hear the Emily Sandé? Have you got anything you can sing to me?
I am full of light. I am full of wonder.
Were you just yanking my chain or something? I think that's so much better. It feels like you. That song, although I don't know it particularly, is very immediate. And the Gangster's Paradise, you risk alienating people, I think. It's quite downbeat, there's quite dark lyrics. I'm really glad you had another one up your sleeve. Byron, you're the leader. What do you want to do?
No, I think, yeah, I think we should go with Wonder.
Okay.
I appreciate your feedback, and I think that you've always been spot on, so...
Sorry, Suzanne, you're fired. Right, you now need to go and seriously polish it. I think you've lost a couple of hours here, at the very least, if not a couple of days. So go away, practice it. We are that far from the final. You are one performance away from the final. I think they've had a crisis of confidence. I think they just felt that what they were going to do wasn't enough, wasn't glitzy enough, wasn't clever enough. But actually what they do is beautiful and worthwhile and lovely and totally about this place and simple. It's clear. People will understand when they watch that video that it's a lovely group of people singing together for the benefits of the community. What's not to love about that?
In Glasgow, Choral Stimulation are sticking with their choice of Jess Glynne's Hold My Hand.
I guess as Tony's not here, we now have this new role of the video, which we've never done before.
But a concept is proving elusive.
So we should come up with lots of concepts, I reckon, and then whichever fits the music best, we'll run with that.
If it was a nice day, we could go on one of them tours of Glasgow buses.
That's One Direction have done that. I think we should do it. Why don't you play hide and seek around the uni?
The hand-holding idea is very literal, but that is kind of what we do with lyrics.
We can make it funny. We can make it funny and touching, which I think would be nice.
The group have come up with a hidden camera concept that involves approaching strangers and clasping their hand.
I think you should try one of the hand-holding things now. See if it works.
Okay.
That was weird.
That's the exact reaction we don't want.
Yet again, we've now got to change our idea and there's still only 5 of us. This is really hard. What about the paint thing? Plain blank room, completely blank room. The soloist in the middle, we just start like splatting the wall with paint.
I think that'd be quite a nice idea as well.
It's just annoying because there's not enough of us here to come up with something that everyone will be happy with, and I mean, changing the song now would be nuts.
We haven't sang the song all together yet. It's kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back every time. It's like really, really slow.
It's just 2 days now until the video shoot, and Choral Stimulation aren't the only group on shaky ground with their concept.
We're starting with Red Riding Hood, putting a modern twist on it, and that's where we're at. So.
What's the modern twist?
We're all the wolves, and we have this girl, Red Riding Hood, who we are trying to convert into our sort of cult type of thing.
It's a wolf cult?
Yeah. We've got our capes and everything, and then...
You've got your capes and everything?
And everything. Yeah,
you've got... Well, hang on. Firstly, what capes? And secondly, what's everything?
I suppose it's hard to imagine it in here because this is just a very dull space. It's a dance studio. And where are you planning on recording it?
In the vault.
In a vault. Yes. I don't get Little Red Riding Hood from it. I just think conceptually it's a bit of a mess. It's like you can see a version of it that's terribly clear to you. I don't think people are going to get it. It's not a feature film. It's a 2-minute viral. You've got to have one thing where everyone goes, oh, that's good. You never know. They have done it before. They've turned it round. If they simplify their video, if they get their harmonies in tune, it could be great. It could be really good fun. But I just never know with them.
We just need to make sure this is as good as it can be. It's a brave choice, and we don't want it to flop. And, you know, it can go either way at the moment.
Back in Glasgow, with just 48 hours until the cameras roll, Choral Stimulation's musical director, Tony, has finally returned to the fold.
Just everyone's a bit stressed out. We've got about 100 ideas and they're all pretty crap. Technically, the whole group hasn't sang the song yet once. Not one single time. Which we're waiting to do in the next few minutes.
With the group finally all together, I've sent in help in the shape of mentors Dominic and Catherine.
Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hi. Hi. Excited? How are you feeling?
Happy now that you're here.
Has it been a difficult couple of weeks, or...?
It's been a tough week.
Tough week?
Really tough week.
Where are we at with the arrangement now? Are you completed?
We've just tied it all together, I think.
OK. And have you sung it all the way through?
No.
Right.
Not as an act.
Well, this will be a debut performance then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to give it a go so we can have a listen to what you've got?
Why not?
Standing in a crowded room and I can see your face. In my mind, I'm rolling around and holding empty space.
Okay.
Can I just ask at this point, do we have a concept for this?
No.
Oh, OK, so we've got a yes and we've got a
We still keep talking about it, so it's clearly not there, because we were still hanging around till 2 a.m. in my flat last night, like, we're not happy.
OK.
We've now pinned it back to a plain, either white or black room, us and paint.
With the final emotional climax being what?
OK. It feels like this group is slightly fractured today.
Yeah.
Which it didn't at a cappella school at all. And it's purely because you've been apart from each other. You haven't been together as a group. And I think that's making the whole thing a little bit negative towards your own ideas.
Yeah.
I think we need to get rid of all that.
Yes, the arrangement's just about done, but we're in the semi-final of a UK competition. They should be a little bit more sorted than this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay there. Then you can breathe. Once more, please, from the same place. Trust me on the R, okay? is missing is that magic which they got at a cappella school when it was very intense and they had to be with each other.
We're starting finally to all kind of be on roughly the same page, roughly.
Core stimulation like to leave it late.
Yeah.
So it's our speciality.
We seem to peak at the right moment, so there's no need to change that now.
As Catherine and Dominic continue their 11th hour efforts in Glasgow, my other two groups who've fallen behind are also playing catch-up.
And 6, good. So when you turn, make sure you show your face to the camera first, and then you're in a straight line at the back, so that's 1.
Mentor and West End choreographer Jason Pennycook is simplifying Restless Symphony's left field interpretation of Red Riding Hood.
We're back here with our hoods down.
That session with Jason just went really well. His energy was like, it just really picked us up and he gave us some really good ideas. Working through it was kind of one of those things where the idea evolved along with his choreography.
Space out so we can see you back there.
He's also helping 15-strong community choir Stratford East Singers perfect a routine that will see them move as one slick unit.
See how easy that is to do? And so then now your next session when you go into whoa, you can have another piece of movement, yeah? That goes somewhere else.
We had so many different ideas about the video, but we wasn't sure how to kind of put it into one stream, and I think Jason kind of done that within the space of an hour. So really happy with that idea, and I think it's going to go well.
The time for rehearsing is over. Each group now has 1 day to produce their 2-minute video. I've given them access to a professional camera crew, but the concepts, arrangements and performances are all their own.
They've kind of got all the tools now. Got to reach through the lens to grab the audience. And I think Stratford East could be quite good at this because they've shown themselves to be very good at being creative and putting on a show. And getting all those 15 people is actually quite an asset for once in this contest. Could look really great in a video.
Okay.
I've tried to rein in the Sons of Pitch's instinct to be funny all the time because I think it was important that they stretch themselves. Maybe this is time for them to return to their core area. They are funny, they're good at entertainment. I think that's probably what they need to do. Restless Symphony went all out with their staging in the last round, but the actual arrangement really wasn't that exciting. So they've got some work to do on both fronts. I don't know what choral stimulation will do. You know, they moved us all to tears and then they've shown us that they can be sort of cool and sexy. I don't know what they're going to do with this. It'll be interesting.
Cut. Well done, mate. It's all right.
Shoots wrapped, the videos are now ready to be screened. The groups are arriving in London, where they, as well as an invited audience of friends, family and members of the public, will enjoy their efforts on screen for the first time.
We've still got the nervous energy, but normally you put that into performing, whereas tonight it's just going to be, you know, I don't know what to do with it.
So my fear is it's going to go down like an absolute lead balloon and everyone's going to think it's really weird.
All the best, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Fingers crossed.
The real challenge of this is choosing the right song. I think they thought that that was going to be a blessing, but I think it's been a curse for some of them. Tonight will tell. The only opinions that really count tonight are those of the jury.
I'm really excited to see these videos today. I'm really hoping to feel a wide range of emotions, perhaps a laugh, maybe shed a tear. But at the end of the day, I want to see something different.
Today, the jury will appraise not only vocals and choreography, but how my groups embraced the creative control I've given them to devise something original and potentially viral.
This is such a tricky test. We need to see a strong song choice, an interesting arrangement, great a cappella singing, and an engaging video. If just one of these elements is off, they could be in trouble.
With the jury in place, the screening can now begin. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this glittering mini-premiere at the heart of London's exclusive Mayfair. Popcorn at the ready as I introduce you to the first of our contenders. It's the Sons of Pitches.
So many relationships in this life, only one or two will last. You go through all the pain and strife, you turn your back and you're gone so fast. So fast. And it's gone so fast.
So hold on to what you really care, 'cause in the end we'll be the only ones there.
I thought this was hilarious.
Tell me who will still.
This absolutely screams viral to me.
They did something which I think is very important in viral videos, which is that they gave us 5-second attention spans.
I like things to be fast, like, oh, that's something there, oh, that's something there, and this is how it's put together, and I really liked it.
Hats off. I can't believe they did that in a week. That is ridiculous.
In a 2-minute frame to get all of those genres in, I think it shows very clever musicality.
After a while, I realised something's missing in this video, and what I thought could have really mixed it up really well was different locations, maybe. They just had the one white background, even though they were great.
They knew how to pitch tonally the humour, how to work with the camera, I thought, in quite a sophisticated way.
Only negative thing I could say was I wanted to hear more genres because they could do it.
Next up, Glasgow University's choral stimulation.
Standing in a crowded room and I can see your face. Put your arms around me, tell me everything's okay. In my mind, I'm running round a cold and empty space.
They didn't draw me in the first 5 seconds. They didn't draw me in the first 10 seconds. They drew me in 15, 20 seconds along the route.
I really liked this. I thought it was daft, I thought it was a bit stupid. Throwing paint over people, that's funny.
I wouldn't share it, I wouldn't watch it again. They had nothing behind the eyes. And I thought that actually they don't believe the concept they've come up with. I
think that they were well below their potential for this, and I was very disappointed.
I thought they were having great fun. We were watching people that you got a sense of group identity together. I loved it. It made me smile. It made me smile.
I didn't get that at all. I didn't get any sense of group identity. I got a sense of people who were panicked by the remit. They just came up with, well, let's splash some paint. And I didn't think that was enough.
Splashing paint is funny. It made me laugh. And it was a good, upbeat song. I don't know what you were looking for deeper than that. It was a really good, fun vocal. It was a nice concept.
I could tell you what I'm looking for if you're really interested. I'm looking for something that's going to hold my attention. Splashing paint does not do that.
With 2 groups down, it's the turn of Restless Symphony.
When I first saw the video, I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. It captivated me instantly, but then it didn't go anywhere.
I thought it was ambitious to take an orchestral arrangement and bring it to vocal works, which is a really interesting idea. However, I don't think their arrangement entirely articulated all the intricacies.
It built really well, but there were a few moments that vocally weren't quite tight enough.
Thrilling, thrilling, thrilling. I was on the edge of my seat. I was holding my breath. I had goose pimples up and down my body.
I hated this. Absolutely hated it. There were some really deep-seated flaws with that performance, both in its structure and in its execution. That's not something that gets past your everyday Joe on the street. It's not something that they don't see or don't recognise.
Everyday Joe
you
wouldn't
can
know.
tell it's out of tune. You can tell it's out of time.
theatre.
You can tell that it doesn't fit with the style of the piece.
No.
Everybody knows that.
If I was to share that, it would open up possibly the classical world to people who may not have ever ventured into the classical world.
I was so disappointed for them. It sounded raw, it sounded amateur, it was finished in unison, which gives it a feeling of just being someone singing in the shower.
This was about making something that got your attention very quickly, whether it was for the right or wrong reasons, and they fulfilled that remit in a really weird way.
I've seen wackier and weirder things enter the viral market. Sometimes you do have to get a little wacky and a little weird to be wonderful.
Ladies and gents, our red carpet extravaganza is almost finished. And now, to bring matters to a close, the Stratford East Singers.
I can be the night. I'm not afraid of thunder. I am full of light. I am full of wonder. Let me hear you sing.
I thought this was a beautifully layered arrangement. I thought it was solid delivery, it was confident. Again, they've risen to the challenge. They captured that community essence, that community spirit. It's spot on.
Go where we go, are full of wonder.
Really like the way that they were so clear about who they were from the get-go.
It's light. This light is contagious. Go tell your neighbors just to reach out and pass it on. Oh yeah, light is contagious. Go tell your neighbors just to reach out and pass it on.
It was quite plain in its arrangement, and I would have liked a little more spice in the harmony.
Everybody sing!
I thought this was just a very joyful video. The energy, all the ways that everyone in the group was interacting, the way they arranged it, just felt like a very joyful performance. It was really fun.
One thing I would have liked to hear more from was Abby, because she has such amazing vocal technique and she was holding back so much. I guess it was so she could allow everyone else, and it was such a unified piece, so it was amazing still.
It felt a bit like an advert, which is funny because they're trying to show community and inclusivity and heart and soul, and yet they did something that looked very commercially polished.
Did I feel that the video was witty, inventive, or creative? No, not particularly. I thought it was a lot of fun, and the community aspect really came over, but I don't know if it's a video that I would share.
I would share that because it made me feel good, and I would send it to somebody who needed to feel good. That's why I liked it. I thought it was witty and snappy and fun and engaging, and I loved what they did.
It's been a wonderful night. I've been grinning from start to finish. I haven't stopped smiling for everybody's video.
I think it's impossible not to be nervous, having seen the calibre of those videos.
I think the jury will have a tough deliberation tonight.
It started there and then just kept going down and down and down and down.
I felt that they'd taken a step back.
They muddied and they smudged, and it just really exposed the lack of classical singing training that these people have had.
It wasn't a gamble for me. I absolutely loved it.
Okay, very interesting points, but I think it's time to vote now.
It comes down to taste, it comes down to who's sort of got the edge in their ideas, who's chosen the right song, and that's very subjective.
Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, the jury have returned and I have the result. I'm ready to reveal who will be going through to the grand final. For the benefit of the groups, I want to point out that these results are in no particular order. The first group to have secured a place in the final is... the Sons of Pitches. Very well done. The next group will survive to sing Another Day is... the Stratford East Singers.
We have made the final!
Two groups remain now, Choral Stimulation and Restless Symphony. But there's only one place left in the grand final. Choral Stimulation. Your concept divided the jury, with some finding it fun and others unsure. Restless Symphony, while they recognised the ambition in your song choice, there were moments when they didn't think you pulled it off in terms of tuning and harmony. The group that they felt had earned their place in the final is... Choral Stimulation. Congratulations, Choral Stimulation. So, Restless Symphony, that means it's the end of the road for you, and what a road it has been. You've worked so very, very hard. I will be very sorry to say goodbye to you. Let's hear a huge round of applause for these guys.
In the final! Oh, man. So good.
I don't even know what to say. We're in the final. That's insane.
Well, nice, man.
That's so nice.
To be in the finals, I mean, we're so near to the winning goalpost. It's like we've almost won.
Because it was such a level playing field, especially between us and Restless, I think tonight it was so hard to call. So I'm so glad the jury obviously saw something in us that we can bring to the final, which we absolutely can.
Well done, you.
Thanks.
Nearly, but not quite there. Thank you all for the effort you put in. We've had our moments, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
But you've always come back from them. You've always taken the criticism on the chin and worked hard. I think, you know, just a couple of points of tuning. It's just practice, time, and hard work.
You know, it's not the end of the world, and it's not like a sad end. It's not even an end. It's the
it's a beginning.
It's a brand new beginning, you know, for Restless Symphony.
It's genuinely been life-changing. You know, like, I thought it would be life-changing for the guys. I didn't realise it would be life-changing for me as well. I feel like I just have discovered this group of sensational people.
I'm sad to see Restless Symphony go because they have made such incredible progress through this whole thing. But I think it was their time. It wasn't good enough. I think that the best groups in the contest are in the final. I think it's a really good lineup. I think it's very, very difficult to tell between them. You know, they've all got weaknesses, they've all got strengths. They're all going to have to be on their mettle. They're going to have to produce performances that entertain on a much bigger level. It's going to be great.
Next time. London's prestigious Coco hosts my grand final, where the 3 remaining groups will perform one last time, all hoping to be crowned my series champion.
I have a dilemma here about who really should be the winners.
Let's vote. The winner of the Naked Choir is...
If you want to enjoy any of the videos from Gareth's semi-finalists in full, go to bbc.co.uk/Naked Choir. Get to know Gareth and his family. His Who Do You Think You Are journey is available now on BBC iPlayer. Past hits and possibly some future ones when Duran Duran perform on Later Live with Jules Holland. Here next.